Can I please have a motion to reconvene public meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Pledge of Allegiance. Can we have the Board Vice President lead for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence in honor of our men and women serving overseas and at home?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the district clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Kennedy? Mrs. Mallon? Present. Mr. Murphy? Mrs. Aguilas? Dr. Adams?
Present.
Mrs. Napolitano-Ferno? Mrs. Hutchinson?
Present.
Mr. Coley-Hefar?
Present.
Mr. Hauser?
Present.
And Mrs. Poppy?
Present.
Can I please have a motion to accept the minutes of the April 18th, 2023 meeting?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Can I please have a motion to accept the minutes of the April 19th, 2023 meeting?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Motion so carries. Can I please have a motion to accept the minutes of the May 9th, 2023 meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion so carries. Can I please have a motion to accept the minutes of the May 16th, 2023 meeting?
Motion.
Wait, there was one I didn't attend. Right. Got which one?
The April 18th, I think.
Okay, so April 18th, I didn't attend. I have to go back.
Okay, well, the May 16th is on, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion so carries. First up for recognitions is going to be fine arts students, Dr. Adams, Mrs. Poppy, and Mr. Malfonte.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us this evening and for acknowledging our art students and their achievements in some recent events and exhibits they were in. I'm going to start with our 17th annual Locust Valley Film Festival, and to talk a little bit more of that, I have Mr. Grandin here.
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mr. Brandon. I teach film, TV, and radio at the high school. Locust Valley, my voice is so loud. Okay. Everyone knows who I am by the way. Locust Valley Film Festival is the biggest film festival on Long Island. Every high school that has a film program enters the program. There's well over 1,500 entries into this film festival. Only about 25 make it in. So just to get into this festival is a huge, huge place, but every year we've been fortunate enough to actually place after we get in. And here are some of the names that made it in.
Thank you. So we have Jack Manoa, Noah Johnson, Catherine Novick, Emily Pasquariello, Madison Farini, Victoria Eller. Which I don't know if any showed up, but congratulations to them.
Every one of those students wanted to be here tonight, but they all had prior commitments. They said to apologize. I'm apologizing.
So we congratulate them in being accepted and for four of them placing first, second, and third in the animation category and third place in the trailer category. So congrats to them on that. Our next, we have our Long Island's Best Young Artists at Heckscher Museum. Similar to this, there's a bunch of entries, a lot of entries throughout all of Long Island that go into this exhibit, and we were fortunate enough this year to have Parker Lyon and his work exhibited at Heckscher Museum. So Parker, come on down, please. Congratulations. Congratulations, Parker. So his work, Parker, come out. His work is on exhibit at Heckscher Museum in Huntington until first weekend in June, and it's also on the website. You can take a look at it. We can even share the link on our webpage, and you could see the piece itself and a little story about the piece. So congratulations. And for our next group of students, we had the BAFA High School exhibit, and BAFA, the Bay Area Friends of the Fine Arts. Their exhibit, perfect timing, right on cue, Mr. Hargrave. So their work was, come on down. It's Mr. Hargrave. So, you're good, you're fine. Settle in. Yeah, you come in. So our BAFA students, we had 9 students who were entered into this as well, and in this exhibit. I would like to call you all up, and then we could take a picture together. So Danielle Hernandez, Gianna Cross, Isabella Basque, Sienna Perez, Logan Jold, Tyler Ramos, Haley Escobar, Camila Rivera Leyva, and V. Wynn. Please come on up. Tyler, congratulations. Tyler had a computer graphics piece entered, and he won 3rd place in the computer graphics category. And Haley also, congratulations, was in the computer graphics category and received an honorable mention for her work as well. So come on in. So thank you once again for all your support, and thank you for your support for our program, for our students, and congratulations to all of you on your work. And thank you to our teachers for their dedication and inspiring them to do great things every day.
I'd like to invite Mr. Lieberman to the front. Mr. Lieberman is our CHS advisor of Model UN. And Mr. Kassine, if you'd like to join us as well. Mr. Kassine is our Director of Social Studies and Business, and we have some student recognitions as Model UN delegates.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Lieberman. Good evening, board, and to the Connecticut community. So Model UN is a great organization. It gives our students a platform to really have a voice. They're top-notch students. They participate in hot topics and debates going on throughout our world today. We go to different high schools. We have different conferences, and there are winners in each of these conferences. The winners receive Best Delegate and Honorable Mention. So I'd like to call up the winners today. They did a great job. This is actually my first year as a Model UN advisor, and I'm very proud to introduce the following students. Our first conference we attended was at Plainview Old Bethpage, and our first winner was Best Delegate Jack Lubier. Let's hear it for Jack. Come on up, Jack. Yep, come up. Join me on stage, please. Jack is our vice president of the organization as well. Congratulations, Jack. Our next winner is Charlotte DeSimone, honorable mention for Plainview Bethpage. Charlotte is our president or co-president of the organization, of the club. Our other president is Daniela Craig. Let's hear it for Daniela, honorable mention. The next conference we attended was St. Francis Prep. St. Francis Prep, just want to let everybody know, is one of the most challenging and tough conferences we had all year. Again, one of the most challenging conferences, and we did very well there. I'd like to introduce again, already up here, Jack Lubier as the honorable mention at St. Francis Prep. Daniela Craig, honorable mention. And our treasurer of the organization, let's hear it for Ava Craig. Come on up for secretary. I apologize. Well, you kind of do both, secretary, treasurer. And Michael Fabry for honorable mention. Come on, Michael. Final conference of the year was at Port Washington. And our winners are Best Delegate, again, Daniela Craig. And Michael Fabry for honorable mention. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a true pleasure being your advisor. Congratulations to the seniors and wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to invite Mrs. Stephanie Burns to the front. Mrs. Burns is our Director of Science, Technology, and Family and Consumer Science, and she will be sharing with us a very special CHS student honor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call up Sophia Policano, please. Sophia has just been announced as a National Youth Leadership Forum engineering superstar. She will be attending Georgia Tech this summer in order to partake in the activities related to engineering. She is a high honor roll student. She is a superstar sophomore at Connecticut High School. She excels in ELA, in math, in science, and hopes to maybe one day be an architect. So we wish you the best of luck this summer and congratulations.
And next, I'd like to invite Mrs. Michelle Rapone to the front of the room. Mrs. Rapone is our work-based learning coordinator at Connecticut High School. And Mr. Cassane, would you like to join us again as well? Again, Mr. Cassane is our Director of Social Studies and Business. And we have another very special student recognition to share this evening.
Good evening. Thank you to the board and central administration for the opportunity to honor one of my students in my work-based learning program. Internships and work-based learning courses give students real-world, on-the-job experiences that allow them to demonstrate their skills and develop needed competencies. For the first time ever, the Work Experience Coordinators Association has instituted a New York State Work-Based Learning Student of the Year award. This award recognizes an outstanding work-based learning student who exemplifies representation while applying academics to real life real-world situations in the business environment. When I learned about this award, one student stood out above the rest. I nominated Kaylee Diaz, who has been interning at a physical therapy facility for over a year and will be completing her internship at the end of this month. In her work-based learning position at Panetta Physical Therapy, her mentor praised her determination, her trainability, and her work ethic. She began her internship observing and assisting with the everyday tasks of a physical therapist, and over time she began to help patients individually with their treatment plans. Recently, as she is winding down her internship, she has been training a new employee, which has helped her to further develop her leadership and communication skills. She has completely immersed herself in this whole experience and is leaving with such invaluable skills. Supervising Kaylee has allowed me to establish a close rapport with her, and it's so rewarding and brings me so much happiness to see how her confidence has soared. This young lady has taken an opportunity to gain more insight on a career she's interested in pursuing, and not only has gained work experience, but has grown tremendously, both emotionally and mentally. I'm so proud of you, Kaylee, and honored to present you with a plaque from the Career Readiness Educators Association and a $300 check from the Work Experience Coordinators Association. Congratulations, Kaylee. Come on down. Being awarded New York State Work-Based Learning Student of the Year.
And I'd like to invite Mrs. Stephanie Burns back to the front of the auditorium to share a special honor and recognition of one of our science teachers.
All right. So we have such an incredible science program, K-12 here in district. The students benefit at the elementary level with Science 21 programming, and then with their middle school and high school teachers, they can just grow and soar above what they've learned and put into place in elementary school. One of our STEM star teachers at Connecticut High School is Erica Dosh, who is this year's recipient of the Lystemela STEM Star Award. She is a bright and shining beacon of science education. Erica, come on down. She is Erica is a unique person in our science department in that she is a nurse. She works for hospice when she is not at school. She has a background in elementary education, health education, and now teaches AP Bio 9 and a series of college medical anatomy classes. So she is very well-rounded, and her students greatly benefit from her own life experience, which she shares voraciously with them. So congratulations, and it's a pleasure to work with you.
And that concludes our recognitions for this evening. Thank you very much, everyone.
Do we have a student government report representative to speak?
Hi. The Connecticut High School just had their Spring Spirit Week. On Monday, we had Pajama Day. On Tuesday, we had Crocs and Crazy Socks Day. On Wednesday was our Wellness Day, and everybody wore purple in honor of suicide prevention. On Thursday, we had Anything But a Backpack Day, and on Friday, we had Red and White Day for school spirit. And our most popular day was, of course, Anything But a Backpack Day, and everyone had a lot of fun, and it was really cute and everything.
I would just like to give a special shout out to the Wellness Suite for helping organize Wellness Day. We had vendors from all across the area come into the gym, and it was a nice assembly for all of the students to just learn about mental health awareness, suicide prevention, and just how to be well overall mentally and physically. So student government would just like to thank them for all of their support with that event. We also had Teacher and Student Appreciation Week. So it was a national thing that is celebrated. So student government gave out chocolate bars to the faculty and staff of the entire high school. And on it, it had a little message just congratulating them for all that they do and all their hard work. And we put those in their mailboxes from student government as just a thank you for everything. We had our officer elections for next year. Sadly, us officers do have to graduate, most of us. So students really got involved. We had posters all over the school, campaigns. We also had a joint thing through our Social Studies Honor Society Rho Kappa and Student Government, a Meet the Candidates Day, where potential candidates came in front of an audience in the auditorium and answered questions about what they plan to do, why they want to get elected, just who they are as a person to help encourage civic engagement, and also get more people involved in our student government elections so that they vote more. And that was very successful. That was our first ever one, and we're hoping to make it an annual thing. So the election results are in. They're going to be made public tomorrow, and then we'll have our new officers for next year. We are hoping tonight that the senior parking lot painting will get approved by the board, and if it does, then we will continue that tradition. We have been working with the district to make sure that that can happen. We have changed it to that next year. You will have to paint over your parking spot at the end of the year. You'll have to paint it white, not white, I'm sorry, black to match the asphalt. And if you don't, then there will be consequences. Just to make it easier on our maintenance in the district. So that is going to be a change that is going to be implemented, but student government is still running that event. And we will be doing everything from signing up to the contracts to the checking of the designs. That is coming up at the end of the year. We already have plans next year once the new officers come in for homecoming. September 29th is the date that we are looking at. We are looking to do it in one day, so it's going to be a Friday. It would be pep rally during the day and then the game at night. So they're very preliminary plans to do that. And otherwise, this is my last time ever reporting. I've been doing this job for student government for 3 years. I started when I was 15. I'm 18 now. I've been to countless board meetings, and this is my last one. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. I have had so many amazing experiences coming and speaking here. I've learned so much about politics and the community. And it's really sad to go. Like, it's just crazy that this is my last time ever going up and speaking here. So I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlotte. You did a great
Thank you.
job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you next year
Thank you so
in
much.
college, and thank you for coming and doing this. We look forward to meeting the new officers.
Yes, I'm very excited for them, but I will miss this position a lot. This was my baby. Every year I fought for this position. So thank you so much.
I want to tell you guys, too, that Wellness Day was excellent. I made my way to the high school that morning to check it out, and everybody was so great. They did a beautiful job, and it was nice seeing all the young people enjoying all the different tables and all the different things they brought in.
Yes,
It's
it's
very
definitely a
nice
student
this year.
favorite.
Very nice. Great
All
job.
right, thank you so much.
So what college are you going to?
Trinity College.
Very good.
Yep, thank you.
Discussion items. The Board of Education topics. First one is going to be committees. 2 meetings ago, a student approached me in regards to more student representatives at the committees. I wanted to see if we could make sure that at the building level, they could encourage more student representatives, whether it be at that level, and then it comes to the board level, so that we're able to sit with them for committees and hear the students themselves.
So you're asking for a Board of Education committee with the
students?
I'm asking for the committees we already have in place
Oh, because I
to
wanted,
add student representatives
oh, because I wanted.
that want to be, put it out there either through a survey or some way with, maybe Mrs. Poppy can do something like that, to see if the building admin can work on getting more students involved and different students also, so that it's not always the same students involved in all the committees. So if you're on one committee, it should almost be like the board.
I think like she's saying, some committees have, the public can be part of the committee. So she's saying to also have student involvement.
Well, I wanted to just grow upon that and maybe have a group of children meet with 2 board members every month and just rotate whatever 2 board members monthly and have different kids from different clubs, different areas in the buildings to have a conversation. I think it should be child-led, student-led actually, so this way the Board of Ed has more of a pulse what these children are going through. So again, I don't know if you want to make a recommendation on the floor to have a committee for 2 Board of Eds. They can do alternating and then meet with the various student groups. So whether it be, start with your clubs first and then start with different organizations, whatever it is, but at least have the students lead that discussion. This way the Board of Ed be more involved in what's going on.
I would be for that. That's fine. I want to just make sure that we get to hear their voices. I heard the student who said to me that they wanted this and that I understood that I was under the assumption that students were involved. A couple of years ago when I was doing the emergency management meeting, we invited students to come and speak. The mental health committee, when it was Mrs. Santos, I think at the time, she invited students in with Mrs. Pisani into, what was it called? We were in the high school, and she brought them in to speak to us. It was like, Marisol, I think you were there, when we had the few kids come in for the mental health committee. So I know that there have been students that have been invited in to speak at committees, but it would just be nice if we encouraged more of it and also encouraged different representatives. So it's not the same 2 or 3 students, just like it shouldn't be the same 2 or 3 board members.
Right, so I don't know if you want to put a motion on the floor to have a committee, sort of speak a Board of Ed student-led committee, and maybe you guys can start that in September, so that this way going forward, 2 board members, pick whatever the first day of the month, last day of the month, whatever it is, and this way it'll be an ongoing thing. So whatever students want to sign up and just have a conversation with 2 board members, I think that'd be a good thing going forward.
I would be for that. Would you be including middle school or you just?
Any student, could be kindergarten and up.
I like
Have
it.
a conversation with the Board of Education, they can have 2 board members to listen to their concerns.
No, I do like that, because even when I was on the nutrition committee, we did have some students from the middle school come down and give their input. And it was great to hear from them, so I would be all for that.
Yeah, K through 12. So I'm putting a motion to have that committee start for September.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jesse, you got that? Okay. Moving on to the Athletic Honor Society. Again, I had a few students approach me in regards to an honor society that they were trying to get a petition for in regards to Athletic Honor Society, not the one we have already in place, but one that also was academic, very, very high academic grades with athletic, very, very high. So really, it would be like the elite for academics and athletics putting it together.
I don't think we have an athletic honor society at all, but I would be all for that. I think that's a great
That's
thing
what-
to start up. I think that student came up to me too. She approached me at an event recently and asked me how to go about this, and I told her that we would present it.
Do we know of other districts that have something similar?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, how other districts.
Well, I
do
could,
that.
Jesse, can you look into what districts have an athletic? I was under the impression that I heard that other districts do have an athletic honor society. So if you could look into that and let me know, let us know, all know actually.
Don't we have scholar athletes? Aren't they recognized?
I think that what they're looking for is an honor society, just like we have honor societies.
Just like English and
English.
science
And,
math.
and
but-
Lee,
and
this
the-
year,
Music?
they added, yes, there is one for music. They added it for English. They have the first ever, right? It's the
Yeah.
English and the first ever science.
Science,
So
yeah.
what they have
So
to do is look
National
into-
Honor Societies, it's great.
So what they have to do is see about starting the charter, because all of those honor societies started with a charter. So you have to see if there's a charter that exists, very similar to what you're looking for. And then they can just write off the template and they can present that.
I have the students' information that are looking into this. So if, Jesse, if you could find that out for me, I'll reach out to them and work with them to try to bring this in.
But I would start, Jesse, see if there's any charters.
Yeah, look in my files.
Thank you, appreciate it. Fencing around the middle schools, that was put on because, again, I was approached by parents asking me about fencing around OBMS and RMS. It was more so for OBMS because they had felt that OBMS has the students a lot of times they are walking around out front or on the side due to what they were doing, work in the back in regards to their recess. And it does present a safety and security issue, not having the fencing around the middle schools. So I wanted to see what we could do to bring this into our next year's budget.
But they're not the only building that's exposed.
I understand that.
So if you're gonna consider those two middle schools, you have to consider all the elementary schools that are exposed. Because
I'm
this
fine
came
with-
up, this came up a couple of years ago, because Bosti parents felt that they were exposed. And when I looked at the other elementaries, I'm like, yeah, quite a few of them are very exposed to any traffic that's driving by.
I would be a big supporter for fencing. I wanted to see if there was any grants out there, because I did hear that other districts got grant money. I believe Comac has it. I think it was Comac that I saw.
Grant money?
No, that I saw the fencing came out, I mean, exceptional. But what I'm saying is, the reason I say with the middle schools is because the middle schools are right now in a position where we have students walking around out front and not behind the fence. Whereas with the elementary school students, their recess is behind fencing.
It's still very open view, people can see.
You are right, I'm not disagreeing with you. But that's why I'm saying, I mean, it's something to look into for all the schools and see what we can do to add the extra safety feature. I would be for looking into the grant money. I'd like to advocate for that, looking into grant money, looking into fencing, not just for middle schools, look for all, but I would like to start with the middle schools and get numbers. I'd also like to reach out to schools like Comac and see how they did it and how much they spent, because I'm sure that fencing could be very expensive, but this is something that could absolutely help with a safety or security issue. Next up, Board of Ed shout-outs, music and arts. Congratulations to all of our musicians and artists who have recently performed in their spring concert and/or art show. Please be sure to check out the fine arts and the music calendar on the website for the upcoming shows. Athletics, many of our spring athletes have been competing in the playoffs over the last week or so. Good luck to the teams still competing. The board looks forward to recognizing our spring athletes at the upcoming board meeting. Many of us board members have made it to games. I know for myself, I'll let everyone else speak on behalf of themselves. I made it to I got to see the seniors for softball on their senior day for the girls, and then I got to see the baseball varsity team play on their first playoff game. They did excellent. We almost had it, but it was a really great game. And congratulations to all the kids that have made it and that have even come this far. It's amazing achievements. You guys want to talk about the ones you've been at?
I went to the softball girls' senior day. It was very beautiful. The parents did a beautiful job setting it up for the seniors.
I actually just came from the high school. They're hosting the Boys and Girls County Championships. As of right now, we have 4 county champions at the high school right now. So it's great.
Does anybody have anything that they wanted to discuss other than what I put on? Okay. Tonight's meeting is a special one for our school district, that we only have the chance to celebrate many of our students for their success outside of the classroom. We are also prepared to officially appoint our next superintendent of schools. After an extensive and thorough search process, the Board of Education has selected Dr. Joseph Centimore for this important position. He will join our Connecticut school family beginning July 1st, 2023. Before we vote on his appointment, allow me to share a few key points about our new leader. Dr. Centimore joins Connecticut from South Huntington School District, where he has served as Deputy Superintendent for the last 4 years. Throughout his tenure in education, Dr. Centimore has held various professional roles from classroom teacher and coach to building principal and subsequently district administrator. As he will tell you, his passion remains in the art of teaching, which is why he enjoys his work as an adjunct instructor for Stony Brook University's Educational Leadership Program. During his distinguished professional career, he has been known for making deep-rooted connections within communities and developing supports for students and staff. These accomplishments, along with his vision for excellence in education, have us confident that he is the individual to help lead our district into the future. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Centimore to our school district. I know we all are looking forward to his strong leadership and community partnership in the days and months and years ahead. Can I please have a motion to authorize the President of the Board of Education to execute the contract with Dr. Joseph Centimore for the position of Superintendent of Schools, effective July 1, 2023?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion so carries. Congratulations, Dr. Centimore, and welcome to Connecticut School District. I will now open the floor for the first public comment portion of the agenda. This public comment is for consent agenda items only. Before I go any further with the show of hands, is there anyone who has a public comment for just consent agenda items only? An additional public comment period will be held later in the meeting. Please raise your hand if you have a question or comment on a consent agenda item. If no one raises, I will call individuals forward one at a time. Please wait for my acknowledgement before stepping up to the podium. Any person wishing to address the board shall address the board president only. Comments should be kept as brief as possible and relate to consent agenda items only. Each person will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. If members of the audience speak out of turn, the board may consider a recess until order is restored. In accordance with policy 1230, public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. If there are additional persons wishing to speak, the board may consider a motion to extend that time. You may step up.
Hello. I'm the student who talked to you about committees a couple weeks ago. I just had a question. You made a motion and a second to create a new committee where it's 2 board members talking to 2 students.
No, it would be.
That's why I just wanted the clarification
No,
on
it would
that.
be groups of students.
Okay, a group of students talking to board members.
Yes.
Okay.
So they would make arrangements with the board, 2 board members.
Mhm.
So maybe this month, student government and another group may want to speak to the Board of Ed. So we're going to try to get it so that more groups of kids are coming to speak to the Board of Ed.
Okay.
And have like a very, like I said, student-led
Okay.
committee. So whatever you guys feel is important for that month, bring that topic, say a week beforehand, so we can have a discussion with the 2 board members, and they can bring information. And so sort of like an agenda set meetings, so that this way the students will know what what's going to be on that topic for that month, and this way it'll also prepare the 2 board members to bring materials, have discussions.
Okay. I was saying, because when I came to talk to you guys, I was really wondering about existing committees.
Yes, and
And
they,
if they're-
they brought that up as well, too, that to have.
To add students to the existing committees?
That's what I brought up, yes.
Okay, and how would those students be chosen? Like, would they be recommended by administrators, or would that be, like, done through student government? Because I talked to Mr. and Mrs. Piscatelli, and they said that if maybe you brought it to student government, they would give it out to the students and like give it as an assignment to go to, like someone could volunteer to come to those committees.
I would like to see it broadened so that it's not just student government students or the people that student government students talk to. I'd like it to be open to all the students in the district and then maybe have a teacher recommend. I'm sure that it's something that we'll discuss more of, but I was just looking for something more broad so that everyone could be involved. So as long as it's not something that's, we would be able to speak to them as long as it's not something that's in litigation. For instance, if we have something in litigation, we wouldn't be able to sit down with students and discuss that in any committee form. But if it's something that, like, for instance, you guys talking about the parking spots earlier, one of the students, that would be something that, yes, you could bring that and speak to us about next year and what was going on. And, you know, as long as, like I said, I personally, and I'm just one of the 5, would love to see it be more different students coming each month, as opposed to the same students, or even the same students on the same committees. Because like board members, we each get to choose different committees to be on. So if you do emergency management, you see me. If you do nutrition, you see Marisol. If you do mental health, you might see Lee and Marisol. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see budget, you might see Mylin. It goes like that with all of us. So I'd like to see that with the students too, not just the same 4 or 5 students.
And that's where I understand what you're saying, and I feel like that's a good thing for this new committee that you mentioned to broaden it out. But within student government, those are I'm secretary. I was elected by the entire student body to be student government secretary. So I feel like in the committees that are existing where it may only be like 1 or 2 students allowed on that committee, like as a representative of the student body, I feel like having student government members is better than just like a random person who's never been to a club before, or I don't know how to say it and not sound like rude or anything, but yeah.
I understand what you're saying. You're the representative of the students of the high school.
Yeah, because I ran for a
And
position.
you would like to be the voice at the committees.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, I obviously won't be here next
No,
year.
no,
but
not
the people
you
who did run-
personally. I totally understand somebody from student government.
Okay, that's really all I.
It's definitely something we can discuss as a board. This was just like, that's why I brought it up for board discussions. So now it'll be a discussion piece and we can see what everybody's thought process is and go from there. We can absolutely get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else for a consent agenda only? Okay, moving on. Financial matters, can I please have a motion to approve items 2 through 9?
Motion.
Are there any questions? Okay, are there any questions? All in favor? Aye, motion so carries. Instructional and non-instructional. Can I please have a motion to approve all personnel schedules as presented? Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion so carries. Yes.
Mr. Kolahifar, would you like to introduce our new principal that was just appointed? I know he's not here, but I thought you might want to.
Oh, he is not here, and I am disappointed. He did have a prior engagement. However, the Board of Education and the school district, the cabinet, have chosen Mr. Tommy Sheehan from the assistant principal from Cherokee to be our new principal of the Sycamore Elementary School. So if he was here, I'd say let's give him a big round of applause, but instead, all right.
Congratulations, Mr. Sheehan. Great choice.
I
Great
am
choice.
gonna harass him tomorrow for not being here.
Let him know he's a great choice.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
Okay, moving on to consent, no, wait. No, right, consent agenda? Consent agenda, can I please have a motion to approve items 2 through 39? Oh, why is it 40? 40 as amended, this one says 39. It's 39? Oh, because one thing was
And
pulled.
Something was, item 39 was pulled, and then when I printed it, it didn't, the numbers don't update. It's a board docs issue. So there's actually only 39 items.
Okay, so we're going with, can I please have a motion to approve items 2 through 39? Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion so carries.
I'm just going to make a very brief announcement. The music faculty and staff had requested of the Board of Education. We lost one of our own a few years ago. It'll be 5 years this coming April that we lost Mr. John Michael Lasher, who was a fixture in Connecticut schools, was a graduate, was a teacher, was the director of fine arts and musical education prior to Mr. Malafronte, and the board just approved naming the Oakdale Bohemian Middle School auditorium in his honor.
Thank you. For public comment, I will now open the floor for the open public comment portion of the agenda. I will call individuals forward one at a time. Please wait for my acknowledgement before stepping up to the podium. You should have received a numbered card from security on your way in. If you have not, please see a security guard in the back of the room. Any person wishing to address the board shall address the board president only. Comments should be kept as brief as possible and relate to school matters only. Each person will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. If members of the audience speak out of turn, the board may consider a recess until order is restored. In accordance with policy 1230, public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. If there are additional persons wishing to speak, the board may consider a motion to extend the time. Can I see number 1 at the podium?
Hello. A large number of district residents are blocked on social media by a sitting board member and a newly elected trustee. Courts have ruled that this shouldn't be the case. In 2017, a lawsuit was filed in federal court against then President Trump for blocking people from his Twitter account based on their criticism of his presidency and policies. The lawsuit maintained that his Twitter account is a public forum under the First Amendment, from which the government may not exclude people based simply on their views. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit affirmed a district court's holding that President Trump's practice of blocking critics from his Twitter account violates the First Amendment. In 2021, the Supreme Court instructed the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit to dismiss the case as moot, as he was no longer an elected official sharing information. More recently, a closer-to-home case will be coming before the Supreme Court. In O'Connor-Ratcliffe versus Garner, school board members blocked parents from their personal Facebook and Twitter accounts. 2 lower courts ruled that even though the board members' social media pages weren't official government outlets, they focused on school board business. Thus, the blocking of some constituents from the pages amounted to government action. In the interest of full disclosure, I will note that the pages in question were converted campaign pages. However, the pages were used for things that our board members share on community pages, such as upcoming board meetings, status reports about an interim superintendent search, and video clips of students' musical performances. Courts continue to uphold these suits based on First Amendment rights. Our district's trustees should be held to the same standards, especially when it comes to sharing information about district happenings on community groups, which our board members do use social media for. Thank you.
So just on behalf of the Board of Education, the board hears the cases that you are referring to. Of course, as counsel to the Board of Education, we will advise them accordingly, to be consistent with the law. But for the most part, we do hear what you're saying in terms of the Board of Education acting, I guess, publicly on social media. We don't have enough facts to really,
give any specific advice at this juncture, but for the most part, it's our understanding that board members do act as private citizens, so we will advise the board accordingly.
Number 2. Number 2. Number 3.
Hello. I would be more than happy to share with you the not acting on a private account. I can send those over through email, acting more as public officials. But I actually came to ask a question if something was possible. I was trying to go back and review some of like the committee meeting minutes, and I noticed that on our board docs, it kind of just comes to an abrupt stop in 2019. We showed like the Community Security Committee in 2019 was where it ends. And I just feel like we have a mental health advisory committee, a curriculum committee. Nobody has any idea what's going on them unless you're in those rooms. So I tried to find out when those are. Apparently they're like midday, some of them, which kind of doesn't account for parents who work, who can't be there in the middle of the day for some of these meetings. So if those times can't be moved, is it possible for us to kind of be a little bit more privy as a community to what's going on in those committee meetings? Because it looks like it used to be posted, and now it kind of just came to a halt. So that was my one question. And also on there, they used to do like a Q&A. So if somebody asked a question at a board meeting, it would be posted and dated. Like, you know, parent 1 asked this, the answer is this, and that seemed to have stopped in like 2021. So if possible, just that could be considered to be brought back. I think it was really helpful. Could probably open up a little bit more trust and understanding from the community if they knew what was going on. And then the only other question I have, which I know I can't get an answer here again if possible, I just had some questions about that PM pediatric agreement. I just saw that it's like $2,000 for an evaluation and a follow-up, and I'm just kind of wondering it doesn't really clarify like what that entails and how long is the wait. So are we paying $2,000 and asking like a student to wait 5 weeks to see somebody? Because I know that there is long wait times, but did we consider like some sort of, I don't want to use the word stipulation, but like we expect that people can be seen in a reasonable, it says timely manner, but what constitutes timely? 5 weeks, whatever it is a really long time for somebody that's struggling with depression, especially at a young age, and a lot can happen in that time. And especially if we're paying good money for that service, like I hope we're getting it. So I just like kind of had some questions. I don't know who those would go to and who I could ask them. But that was really all I wanted to know, is if it's possible to bring back that open communication on board docs and make it a little bit more clear about what's being discussed and who's discussing it. Thanks.
If I could address just some of those. So some of the committees have separate tabs on the ConnectWise website. I know that the Curriculum Committee and the Mental Health Committee, both of which I sit on, have their own tabs, and they do update them with what goes on during those meetings. So if you want to click those tabs, and it'll have information on there what has occurred. I know that the times are difficult to get to. I work every day of the week, but the Mental Health Committee does try to alternate. Every other meeting is one's at daytime, one's at nighttime. So they do try to accommodate as many people as possible. As far as the PM Pediatrics bus, I have gotten feedback from some social workers that find it phenomenal because they are able to get help for those students that need it immediately.
Yeah, it was kind of just like that $2,000. I was just trying to understand it. It reads as if it's like the evaluation and then a follow-up with the parent, like gets a 30 or 45-minute follow-up, but what happens from there? Are they being followed by PM Pediatrics or then referred again?
I don't have the answer to.
Yeah,
that I don't know.
I
know that they can get help immediately. They don't have the waiting period, which is the plus for us because there are times that students need help and they can't get it. So this option gets them help immediately.
Okay.
We can reach out to Director Pisani. She's the one who would be able to answer your questions best.
Okay.
And she would be the one that would be the best one to email with you or speak to you on the phone.
Awesome, thank you.
Number 4.
Hello, I need no introduction. I have a question. How can I schedule a meeting with the current superintendent and my parents regarding concerning emails that were sent to me?
You can just email me, Ava.
Okay, thank you.
Number 5.
Sorry that I'm going to talk fast, but again, 3 minutes is just not enough. All right, are you ready? If you mark, get set, go. All right, why haven't we done a tutor survey yet? I've been asking for months and months and months. We need to do something to help the parents. We need to do something to help the teachers. We need to, more importantly, do something to help the students. Not sure why this is so difficult. We send out about 12 billion surveys about everything. Let's do something that's going to give us some real data that is important. Also want to check the status of the augmented reality sand tables. I hope we are being on top of putting out bids for those things, because now that the budget's passed, the money's there. Let's get on that. We got to get these going for the kids. It's great for tactile learning. It's great for every single grade level. It's an important thing. It'll be great for all of the children. From special education to AP, these are excellent, excellent products. I also mentioned for many years now an after-school program for the 6th graders. They're still considered elementary education. A lot of parents don't really want to send their kids to Scope in 6th grade or daycare. The kids are middle school, but a lot of kids have nowhere to go after, and it's kind of like an awkward stage. They don't really want a babysitter. They can't join a sport. There's only so many clubs for 6th graders to join. We need to kind of think of something more in the terms of like an after-school daily type of club thing. In the past, they've mentioned that there hasn't been space for it. We need to figure out something because it's important. The kids need somewhere to go. Kids don't want to go home alone. Parents do have to work. That's the reality in most households. We have to do better for the kids, and it would be nice to help our families as well. The other thing, we're still getting bathroom photos in the high school. So it's been over a year now that I've notified administration at the high school that people are getting pictures taken of their feet while they're sitting in the bathroom. Now, you might not think that that's a big deal, but imagine you're sitting at work and you're in the stall in the bathroom, and you find out that there's photos circulating of your feet and maybe your undergarments that are pulled down while you're in the bathroom, and you go and tell your boss that your coworker has been doing this and circulating these photos online. I'm pretty sure that there would be an investigation and there would be some pretty heavy consequences, or at the very least, some sort of staff meeting to discuss this. Now, it's been over a year. I've contacted administration more than once. I know that I'm not the only parent who's done it. I've mentioned it at the Board of Education. So I'm not really sure why this still is not addressed, period. There hasn't even been a, what's it called? When you guys, I can't even think, the word's escaping me. A presentation with the kids to come in. There's been nothing. Nothing. We haven't had even a discussion with the children about it. I'm not saying we have to go call in the police or anything, but we need to have some sort of presentation for the children to understand the severity of doing things like that. There are kids who could really get in a lot of trouble for that, and quite honestly, that's so invasive. You should be able to use the bathroom without having to worry about having your photos taken while you're sitting on the toilet. This is absurd. This is the safety of the children. This is just basic human decency. And if we can't provide that, and administration can't handle that, I'm not really sure what else they can.
Thank you for letting us know. I didn't even know that was still going on. I know, Ms. Ketty, that they had that going on, and the pictures were actually being uploaded to like Instagram, I think, at one point. And I thought that was last year. Our apologies. Thank you for bringing it. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Can Central Office Admin please get involved? Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Are there any other numbers? Oh, you're number 8? Oh, there's a 9 and 10? Okay.
I'm sorry?
Ed?
Am I taking someone's spot?
No, are you number 8?
Yeah, I'm 8.
You got it. Good.
Okay, so I have a question. I know since social media has started with the kids from elementary school through adulthood, but most specifically within the school, if a kid is bullied online, so to speak, that there are repercussions. I know that there have been suspensions, it's been brought up to different principals, different issues like that. I'd like to know what repercussions there are for, let's say, board members that have somewhat bullied other people online, where it doesn't cost the district, with the attorney's fees, defending them. What are the repercussions for that? If a sitting board member bullies on social media?
You would have to call Suffolk County Police, because I don't know that people really understand social media. So let me just explain so that you do. With social media and adults.
Can you stop the clock so that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Please stop the
okay.
clock before she spoke. Okay, I'm going to answer you because you asked us to. A board member, when not sitting impaneled on the board, is a private citizen. When they are a private citizen and they are on social media acting as a private citizen, just like you or anyone else could give information about a board meeting or about any of that, that is what we do. Nobody is on social media in an official titled board. No, first of all, we're not allowed to have a board of education, social media. I had gotten the email because unless all 5 of us agreed to what was going to be posted, and that's not really conducive because no one's going to do something like that, 1. 2, when we're on social media as a private citizen, we're an adult, which means that if an adult and another adult are debating or angry, upset, harassed, you got to call 911. And the police will come and they will fill out a report if they find that you are being harassed or bullied. In today's day, so many people feel that you're being bullied, but they use that word so loosely. You really have to bring it to the police and see what they see it is. Because I know for my own self, I'll tell you my story. I've been harassed endlessly. And I called the police and I was able to get a report made because of how serious the harassment was. The harassment wasn't one person, me arguing with another person. It was just one person, 2 people coming at me, and it took it until they threatened my life. You have to get threatened. And I mean, that's a real threat, is when you are threatened with your life. I know that people don't understand the difference. Harassment is kick, push, punch, and if it's on social media, it's aggravated harassment. It does elevate to a misdemeanor, but you really have to have the verbiage. An argument or a disagreement or a debate isn't necessarily harassment or bullying. So I encourage you, please call 911 if you feel like you're being bullied or you're being harassed. You should really get a police report done. I know I would, and with my law enforcement background, I can honestly tell you, it is taken seriously if they find that it is deemed bullying or harassment. Please do so. It's a big deal. Nobody should be harassed or bullied. Trust me, nobody.
So my concern is, okay, with everything that you've just said, that we're our hands are somewhat tied when these kids that are going home, okay, not in the school environment anymore, and are bullying another kid from their class outside the school and outside the classroom, that we now have no repercussions, okay? Because you're stating that we have to call the police, and it has to be a misdemeanor, it has to be this, and it has to be that, okay?
That's for adults.
I'm not done speaking. I let you speak, okay? My concern is, okay, that with your answers right now, okay, and the definitions behind it, you've now tied our hands, okay, when kids are bullying other kids in their classroom, outside on social media, okay? If it doesn't fit under certain guidelines, yet we have called these kids to task when it is happening. I know kids have been suspended and in some cases expelled, okay? Where there was no misdemeanor, there was no threat of life, yet we utilized that, okay? The fact that they were being bullied outside. And now, with your answer, you've tied our hands with this, okay? Now, I get all your answers, Jackie, so I'm going to move on from that, okay?
I'll have
But I
legal answer
really
you, and we
like,
can stop
I
it.
really like someone to look into that, okay? Because what we expect of our kids, we most assuredly expect of the adults, okay?
That goes for all adults, all
Yeah,
adults.
absolutely.
I agree, 100%.
Absolutely.
Please stand by, because I'd like legal to.
That's
win.
fine.
A lot of issues came up during the back and forth. So when you were talking about students and the fact that there are sometimes suspensions or repercussions for off-campus misconduct, of course, there has to be some kind of showing of a nexus between that off-campus misconduct and the district so that the district can kind of reach its arm to suspend those students, or those students can have some kind of consequence. To the extent you're talking about two adults privately on social media, there's probably a different standard because
Not probably.
Because you're not talking about an adult's access to school necessarily. So there's a whole lot of nuances that have to be looked at when you're talking about social media and adults arguing on social. I'm just calling it arguing.
So
'cause I
essentially
don't know
what
the
you're
facts.
saying is do as I say, not as I do.
No, I'm not saying anything
You
like
kind of
that.
are.
No, because I didn't finish. So to the extent an individual believes, or maybe even Board of Education members believe another Board of Education has engaged in misconduct, official misconduct, or something of that nature, then there are removal proceedings that are available, things of that nature.
At the cost of the district.
Typically, yes, that is correct. But that's just because there's due process in connection with everything. When you're talking
You see
about,
where I'm going with this, right?
No, I'm just
You're-
explaining
what you're
the-
doing is you're giving me an explanation.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
As to why kids can be suspended and called to task for really poor behavior. Okay? Now, I'm not speaking in a vacuum.
That's
I
not
have
what I'm
not
trying to do. I'm
maligned
just
anyone.
giving
I'm
you
not
the
even
difference.
on social media. What I know is what I read. Okay? I've done nothing to any board member. I'm talking about people who are sitting up there doing it to other people. And essentially what you're saying is do as I say, not as I do. And if I do it, it's at the cost of the district. Okay? So that's all we're going to say. You already answered my question. I have one more question and I'm done.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
No, it isn't, because both of you spoke for more than half of my time.
No, we stopped the time.
No, you didn't.
We did.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm actually not. We have to be
So
fair to
can I get
everybody.
another card and ask another question?
We have to be fair to everybody.
Right, so can I get another card?
And we typically don't answer people. And tonight, because there's only 10 people, we've been answering what we can.
What do you mean you typically don't answer people?
We typically don't.
So we come up here and ask questions and all you're doing is appeasing us?
No, we take those and we give those to administration or whoever needs to, and they're to answer it. We're here to listen.
So what you're saying is I can't ask another question when both of you ate some of my time.
We
That's
didn't
what you're
use your
saying.
time. I asked our
You
district
didn't.
clerk to put the, Jesse, did you?
You
put the
didn't. The clock
Yeah.
was running. When
The clock was, she put the clock back.
When the woman was speaking, when the lawyer was speaking, the clock was running. And that's it.
Okay.
No, there's some delay when I hit pause, and even you'll see too, like when the person starts speaking again, there's.
I have about 30 seconds.
I did pause it.
So apparently the audience members don't believe you. Because there are other people that.
Because we're trying to let everybody speak.
Let her speak, and just, she can't ask any more questions.
Okay, you can, do you give a 30
I
second
understand that you
board?
were a former board member, and you understand that this is a public meeting where you can make a comment.
I
and
understand
usually-
we let everybody speak with more than one question. If
Okay,
they had
you just
another
cut me off,
question,
but
they could
okay.
get another card and come up. We also answered questions. You weren't doing us a favor, okay?
I'm not saying I was doing you a favor.
Well, that's what it is.
The
Because you
policy
just
is that
said, she just said we don't answer questions. It's unbelievable. All right, let me just get to my thing. Section 2103, ineligibility of office. Ineligibility of office. No district superintendent or supervisor is eligible to the office of trustee or member of a board of education. And no trustee or member of a board of education can hold office of district clerk, collector, treasurer, or librarian. Do we have an answer for this? For the trustee-elect?
We'll have that looked into. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Number 9. Number 9.
Hey, I've been here for a while, and I just wanted to say that this year has been quite a ride, a terrible one. The board has definitely contributed to that, like the entire year. If you told me last year that my entire senior year would have been what it was, I would not have believed you. The fact that I can watch pretty much every month of how I progressed on a board meeting video on YouTube, I wouldn't believe that at all. So, I've said it before online, to interviews, whatever, but never at a meeting. But Jackie, I think you would serve this community best with a public apology for everything, which is what we've asked for since the beginning, and the resignation, because please, please, the fan club, go back to the Civic. Anyways, so thank you guys for the college essay material. I wrote about you guys a lot, got some scholarships, and I'm excited to graduate and vote in the next election. Peace out, guys.
Good luck in college. Have a great night. Number 10.
Hi again. Oh, did I interrupt?
Lee, let's behave appropriately, please.
We're not at the 30-minute limit yet.
Okay? I wanted to do that all year. Now I did it. Let's move on. We have a student at the podium. Let's show some respect. You're up. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Hi again. I just wanted to list some of the things that have brought me to board meetings this year. The pride flag, the progressive pride flag to be specific, the student disapproved T-Bird project, the hate incident, the abrupt removal of Mr. Moran. Only one of these incidents has not been solved, the progressive pride flag. Many students have come in and spoke to you many times to tell you that removing this flag was and still is detrimental to the mental health of students. Even though no one has come to speak to you recently because of all the other things that have happened this year, this doesn't mean that the issue has disappeared. And I just wanted to let you know that, since I think that you've forgotten. This may be my last meeting as a current student, but I'm still a community member. I'll see you guys next year.
Have a great night and good luck in college. Number 11.
Hello. Hey, everyone. This is my last board meeting. I just wanted to come back and say hi. And a quick thank you for making my senior year truly the most memorable one here yet. I have gone to more of these board meetings in the past year than I have in my life. I've spoken at these meetings and tried to express my feelings that I can confidently say that more than half of our student body feels. I do want to say that as a student, I'm kind of upset with the events that unfolded this year. I've spoken, and you've listened, but were we ever really heard? That is something that you should kind of be ashamed of. I mean, you're supposed to look out for us. You're our representatives. You're the people that were picked by the community to guide and lead, but we weren't heard, so yeah. I do have some advice for you. I don't know if you're going to listen because I'm a student and I'm leaving, but please do listen to your students. Although we aren't your taxpayers, we are the ones directly affected by everything you put on the table. We are the ones that deal with the consequences of everything you do. Our atmosphere in our building has severely gone more negative, and it has just been a year that can say, like, it started great, it started good, senior year, but with everything that happened, the atmosphere in this building has severely gone down, and I mean, I'm sure you've heard it, but please listen to us when we tell you that. We want our voices heard, and I know this is my last one, but we're going to have students here next year, I'm sure. There's already underclassmen lining up to fill the seniors. So yes, thank you for making my senior year great. Have a great day.
Have a good night, and good luck in college here. Number 12?
Hello. Since this is my last board meeting as a current student, there are a few things I would like to get off my chest. First, I would just like to address that in October, we all asked to have a meeting with you, like with a one-on-one or two-on-two type of person, little convo you brought up before earlier. And I just think it's really funny timing that you're bringing it up to possibly happen now after we're all leaving. That's just a funny little coincidence that I would just like to put some light on. And then, like, all we wanted was simple meetings to just talk about what's going on, just let you know how we feel and how we're affected by it. And you were just like, no. But now that we're leaving, it can happen, but, you know, that's great. I hope that the future students can be heard, but we weren't. Also, all these this school year had just been completely crazy. Hate incidents keep happening. And honestly, maybe the board is to blame. Maybe even a certain president, but I don't know. I'm not going to point fingers. But this board is filled with hypocrisy, and there's just so much childish drama and yelling. My mom turns off the housewives to watch these board meetings. That is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the cyberbullying on Facebook of students who speak at these meetings and of other community members, it's all just ridiculous. And I am at a loss of words for this board, honestly. But as my fellow friends have said, please listen to the students next year. I hope that they don't have the same experience that I've had with you. And see you at graduation.
I just want to address one thing for you. Unfortunately, kids wanted to come speak to us students, and unfortunately, it was in regards to litigation, and we cannot meet with any students to speak about litigation. Other than that, those were the things that we were told wanted to be spoken about, and that's why we couldn't meet with you. So I apologize if you felt that we didn't make the time. We would have made the time if it was not for litigated items. But we do collectively wish you guys all the best in endeavors after you graduate to the senior class. I hope everybody has a wonderful experience at graduation, a wonderful experience if they're going to the prom, and I really do wish everybody well in whether they go to college, trade school, military, whatever your next step is, the next chapter is. I hope it's a good one. Have a good night, everybody.
Wait, before we adjourn,
we're going into executive.
I just want to give a shout out to the boys track team. They are back-to-back county champions again.
Awesome. A motion and a second is needed, with the motion clearly stating the reasons for executive. Motion for the Board of Education to move into executive session in accordance with Open Meetings Law 105E to discuss negotiations pursuant to the Taylor Law and exempt under Open Meetings Law to seek legal advice from the board's attorney.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good night, everybody.